So this is the girl that sold farts in a jar. And
What?
she made something like $50,000 or something. I could be wrong about the numbers. But she made like $50,000 like selling her farts in a jar, like in one weekend.
What's more, for the people doing OnlyFans as a side hustle while in
Ooh,
college,
there
or
it is.
searching for a job.
This is it. Her colleagues watched her OnlyFans account at work. When bosses found out, they fired her. Today is the very last day to get over $1,000 worth of products with the purchase of a See Me virtual ticket. Every Womanese audio volume with over 600 translations. My 7-hour Build a Better Girlfriend course that gets results. My 25-hour course, How to Master the Game, and much, much more. This is well over 300 hours of real-world guidance, advice, and instruction that will change the very trajectory of your dating life forever. The time is now, gentlemen. Link in description. I think it's worth noting that the advent of strip clubs and pornography, sex work, I believe it saves lives because men who don't have constant access to sex, that's their release. But if none of these things existed, I think that there would be a lot more violence. So while I don't think they're helping to provide for society, you know, in an indirect way, you know, women taking advantage of men's thirst, I think helps a lot of men and women in that regard. Dev in the chat says that the jobs that aren't going to care about her OnlyFans or online reputation isn't going to pay enough to be worth quitting OnlyFans for. He says most companies worth paying $50,000 and above will do a LexisNexis check on you and find out all your aliases online, credit rating, criminal, and driving history. The last company she worked for did annual rechecks on all employees. So, in other words, if you start an OnlyFans while you work at a company, if they find out, they could fire you. And now the pressure is really on.
Yeah, that's really scary.
Oh my God, it's crazy. All right, let's continue.
Click the link in your description box.
There's a lot of factor that goes into it. People aren't paying for pornography. They're paying to see your extra further content.
What's more, for the people doing OnlyFans as a side hustle while in
Ooh,
college,
there
or
it is.
searching for a job.
This is it. Her colleagues watched her OnlyFans account at work. When bosses found out, they fired her. There you go.
Oh,
There you go. Just like that.
It has the potential to hurt your future career prospects.
Is this something that's going to hurt you anywhere down the road?
Oh, that's Stepanka.
Yeah.
This is the girl. I didn't recognize her at first because it looks like she's gained substantial weight. So this is the girl that sold farts in a jar. And
what?
She made something like $50,000 or something. I could be wrong about the numbers. But she made like $50,000 like selling her farts in a jar, like in one weekend. She has also been on 90 Day Fiancé. She was in a same-sex relationship with a woman from Australia. I don't know if it worked out or not, but she used to be quite attractive, but it appears now that she is it appears that she is, I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine guys paying her for OnlyFans, but that's who that is.
Do you have any career
okay.
plans? If you are at all, at any point, going to plan on becoming a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, anything like that, this may potentially hurt you later on down the road. This will affect your ability to get jobs. This will create very difficult and awkward scenarios in your life if you do it, depending on what you do on OnlyFans and Patreon.
It's not going to be worth your while unless you already have a big following, because you won't make the income enough to get over the fact that it impacts every other aspect of your life, if that makes sense.
Your price on your self-respect. Could you put a price on your future and say you want to change careers or do something? Is this something you want your kids to look up to? If you are a mom, would you like your daughter to be on this website and for creepy men to be looking at her? Would you? Because that's not an example or role model I want to have for my future kids, nor do I want that to be an example for any other woman.
Example for me, because I have such a big following and obviously I get good traction on my OnlyFans account, I can say, well, I'm not going to make as much money in any.
So let me stop it right there. We talked about this just now, the future. Man, the future. Let me rewind this a little bit because this is very interesting. Because Devin in the chat says, how about affecting your ability to get a husband? Listen to what this woman lists in terms of future challenges.
Impacts every other aspect of your life. If
I think this woman is probably Irish.
that makes sense.
A price on your self-respect. Could you put a price on your future and say you want to change careers or do something? Is this something you want your kids to look up to? If you are a mom, would you like your daughter to be on this website and for creepy men to be looking at her? Would you?
So she makes a very good point, is how much is your self-respect worth? And Tallulah, listen, man, women women who are sex workers, they always want to come out and talk about sex work is real work and there's nothing wrong with us and blah 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 blah. Listen, you guys, those women who do sex work, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But when they complain about the consequences, they prove to us that, especially, listen, young men and young women, they make decisions having absolutely no idea what the future holds. Maybe me doing OnlyFans affects my job prospects. Maybe it affects my children. But Devin just said it. Maybe it affects your ability to get a husband, because at the top of the broadcast, Tallulah, we talked about the fact that men of value are not going to take these women seriously. Why don't young attractive women ever think about how their present decisions will affect them in the future?
Because they're told that everything is just going to be fine and that everyone should accept them for who they are. And everyone's going to love you no matter what. And no one is held accountable for anything.
Wow.
And, I think it's really important to, say that all these women that are on OnlyFans, they're not bad women at all.
No.
They're just, all of us women want to make money the quickest way, right?
Yes.
We're all lazy. but, they're not bad people. They're just not.
They're not informed.
They haven't got the awareness. And this is what's really, really sad. And the media, again, are telling everyone that everything's just fine how they are. Be who you are. He should accept you how you are. You're better than him. Blah, blah, blah. The messages go on and on and on and on. And, you see it a lot in, soap operas, where there's been a girl that's kind of got a really big past, and then there's some guy that comes along and he's Prince Charming and he says, "Oh, that's fine, don't worry," and saves her from all the people that are very nice to her, right?
That doesn't happen in real life. I don't know if you're familiar.
No.
I mean, I don't know why, and it's so funny because what happens on television and movies is not what happens in real life. And no one seems to be acknowledging this except for people in this community. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Pretty Woman over in the UK or no.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, there we go. Yeah, I think that probably might have been the genesis of women making bad decisions with their bodies, but still ending up with the high-value guy. Sex in the City, Carrie Bradshaw banged half of New York City and still ended up with the high-value Mr. Biggs, despite the fact that she was in her 40s, and had a notch count, I think, into the thousands, according to her. Then there's the show on Netflix called Sex Life, where this woman again banged half of New York City, ends up she gets alpha widowed by this perfect guy. He's tall, he's handsome, he's a celebrity, he's got a 1 foot schlong, and she ends up getting married to a high value guy, and she still has an affair with the guy who alpha widowed her. These are the kinds of things, these are the kinds of stories and influences that women regularly consume, that gives them sort of the permission to say, you know what, yeah, I can flaunt my body, I can do and say what I want, but I'll still be valued as though I'm this 18-year-old virginal flower. Rolla Tomas. Go ahead.
No one's telling them that it's no one's giving them the awareness. I just really wonder where their mom and their dad is as well.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my goodness.